What's going on there, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Craftavore Tastes and an on-location episode of the Craftavore Tastes. Yeah, man. So I am up again in Boston, Massachusetts. Actually had a work trip that I had to do. So came up here and decided to actually stop off first at Trillium Brewing Company, and I chose to go to their Canton location, which is just kind of southwest of Boston, on my way up. And there was a couple of reasons why I did that. Number one, I think I've mentioned it on a couple different videos across the last year and a half or so, but Trillium Brewing Company was literally my absolute favorite brewery of the last 4 to 5 years. Had them for the first time, I want to say somewhere around mid-2014, if I'm not mistaken. And I've just watched them obviously grow leaps and bounds. I mean, exponentially year over year. It's kind of shocking. They actually just put out some new news recently that they are going to be opening up a new brewery and location near Fenway Park, and that they are opening up, or they are moving to a larger, newer location in Canton. So, and on top of that, they are also in the next couple of years, I believe, going to be opening up a farm in Connecticut. So crazy stuff. Anyway. So I wanted to get out to Trillium because the last time I was up here for Extreme Beer Fest in February, so was every other beer geek across the Northeast and beyond, and it was nearly impossible to get into the Trillium Fort Point location. Could not buy cans. Can line was like an hour and a half. It was freaking crazy. So yeah, so I knew that this trip was coming up, and I wanted to get up here and get myself some Trillium, man, and gonna go ahead and do a review. First time on the channel, and it's actually kind of important because the beer that I'm going to be reviewing is pretty much an OG classic, man. It is none other than Trillium's Double Dry Hopped Congress Street, yeah. Which is part of their Street Series, coming in at 7.2% ABV IPA. Yeah, one of their well-known IPAs, and I wanted to review it because I had done that Craftavore Talks video where I was like, hey, what's going on with Trillium? And there was a lot of discussion points going back and forth specifically about, the issues that were going on with how they were tipping their employees and how they completely kind of changed around their pay structure and all this other kind of stuff. And it was all like this one huge big thread on Beer Advocate. But really the one of even more important or kind of interesting topics was about how a lot of people have felt that Trillium has completely changed their beer. For a lot of their kind of flagship street series beers, right? So Congress Street, A Street, Melcher Street, so on and so forth. And it has been confirmed that Trillium is actually utilizing a new fermentation method. It's kind of what they call it. So I'm assuming it's a different yeast strain. I don't know. Anyway, when I was up in Boston in February, I did get a chance to go into the new Fort Point location, and I did have a beer. Can't remember which one it was, to be perfectly honest with you. It might have been Summer Street, if I'm not mistaken. Don't remember. And it was good. I didn't kind of do a video of it in any way, or didn't put anything on video. Obviously couldn't buy any, so I thought it was good. It did seem a little different. It wasn't 100% what I was used to, but it certainly wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination at all. So now's the first time where we're going to put it to the test, man. Let's go ahead and actually pop a top on this guy. Take a look at the appearance, get the aroma, taste it, and of course we're going to rate it, all right? So again, I'm in a hotel, and I could have swore the hotel that I'm at, that I've stayed at for a number of years, provided glassware. And I get to my room and I get this. Literally plastic glasses, which is a pretty decent hotel. Like, it's kind of shocking. Anyway, so forgive me. We're going to do a little hashtag hotel glassware with this guy, all right? So let's pop a top in her, take a look at the appearance, get the aroma, taste, and then of course we're going to rate it. All right. So again, we're going to be reviewing Double Dry Hop Congress Street, coming in at 7.2% ABV, singular IPA. It's the double dry hop version of Congress Street. All right, so how does she look? Well, she looks like a Trillium beer, right? Absolutely full-on 100% New England haze, total turkey gravy, just the way that Trillium beers have always looked for me. Just literally can't see through it, man. It looks absolutely awesome. I'm actually beginning to smell it too, so that's kind of cool. So far, so good, man. Looks pretty much what I remember. Let's get the aroma. Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, so, I mean, in terms of the smell, it's permeating off the glass like it always used to. Huge, big, massive blasts of tropical fruits, man. Mango, pineapple, papaya, all that, like, all those sick tropical fruits that Trillium was always known for on the nose. Yeah, man, it is still freaking there. There's no question. I don't really get a tremendous amount or see any kind of difference coming off the nose. Like, it just smells fucking awesome. All right, so 2 for 2. Let's go ahead and taste her. This is the area where a lot of folks have kind of said the beers have become a little too cloying and a little too sweet. We'll see. Cheers. Okay. Go back in for another sip. So, I can understand what folks are saying. The feedback has been with this new fermentation profile, the beers tend to be a little bit more, they were always kind of creamy, they were always decadent, but the beers almost feel a bit fuller, and perhaps even a bit too sweet. I'm not getting sweetness out of this, but there is a full kind of richness to the beer that is increased from the last time that I had Trillium, which was pre their fermentation profile change. But I kind of dig it. Like, there's nothing about that turns me off. I will say it's thick is the best way to describe it. Taste is Congress Street. Melange, tropical fruits. Explosive. Land right on the palate. Zero to lingering bitterness. The beer tastes the same, except for the mouthfeel. I see what people are saying. It is thick. And so what I will say from that is, because of the kind of increased bit thickness, I could see myself having one of these and probably struggling to put down a second. Whereas pre-fermentation profile change, the one thing that I always used to say about Trillium beers was I could slug them, like literally, because one after another I could just crush them. This, yeah, no, it's full to the point where it's decadent, and I'm really enjoying it, and I don't see a lot of drop off from a flavor or aroma perspective, but the mouthfeel is such is that it does make multiples now a bit more of a struggle. All right, one last sip and then we'll rate it. It's still delicious. It's still really, really good. Okay, so Trillium Brewing Company out of Canton, Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts, and soon to be Connecticut, Fenway, like all over the place. Double dry hop Congress Street, 7.2% ABV IPA. I always used to give this beer 5 caps. That new kind of profile, and it was a 5 cap beer when I first started having it back in like 2014, right? So obviously the New England style haze game has, blown up, right? So what's interesting is it's amazing, but it's not as mind-blowing as it was back then, I guess. And that's not, it's a shitty thing to like say about it, right? Like, it's not their fault, right? A lot of people took what they were doing and started doing it. So, it's not Trillium's fault, the fact that I'm getting a lot more beers, obviously, that are similar to this. But, I mean, they are still one of the best in the game. Do I think it's a 5 cap beer still? I don't know. On the first onset, I'd probably say no. But, with that said, it's a 4-5 cap beer, all right? So I'm going to bump her down about, 0.5 caps there just for the difference in fermentation profile, which I think hinders the drinkability of this beer a little bit. All right, so 4.5 caps for the Craftavore taste for the Trillium Brewing Company's Double Dry Hop Congress Street. That'll do it for this episode. Hope you join me again for another episode where I drink, I review, I rate, and I repeat. Cheers, guys.